Samplephonics CM Pack 2016, free with issue 232 of Computer Music Magazine, is an exclusive 2GB sample pack, crammed to the max with 693 premium grade one-shots and loops, all lovingly picked from 47 of the brand's best commercial packs. We're going to use samples from the pack to put together a wonky lo-fi house groove. We'll be using Ableton Live 9.6 as our DAW, but don't worry if you don't own Live. Simply download a 30-day demo from ableton.com to follow along. You'll want to begin by copying the Samplephonics CM Pack 2016 folder to your hard drive samples folder. We'll kick off here with a percussion loop. Load Surrealism Drums 120 Quite Oriental into a 120 BPM project. Then turn this channel down to -6 dB. We'll remove unwanted bass by high-passing the signal at 180 Hz, using Live's EQ8. Next, a kick loop will provide low-end weight and rhythm. Drag Alien Beatscape's Drums 120 Spacious Beat onto a new audio track, and set it to -6 dB as well. An off-kilter, almost drunken bass line will pair nicely with our skipping drums. So load Boutique Hip Hop Synths 85D Synth Melodic on a new audio track. Be sure to use your DAW's time stretching or warping function to sync the bass loop with the other parts. Although the samples in the pack are pre-processed and ready to use, you may find you need to apply minimal processing to help parts fit within the context of other elements. We'll use an EQ8 to high-pass the synth bass at 87 Hz, preventing the part from clashing with our sub-heavy kick. Then Live Saturator, with its drive at +6.5 dB and output at -4 dB, beefs the bass out a little more in the mix. Time for a hi-hat part to fill out the groove. Load Beat Inflections, Beat Stems 72 Mandroid Hats on a new audio track, set to -9.5 dB. Then again, warp it in time with the other parts. A great way to create your own groove is by chopping out small sections of more complex loops. We'll isolate the first 2 beats of the loop. Delete the rest. Then copy this 2-beat section throughout the project. Our simplified hi-hat is a little too simple, but we can use a delay effect to add extra width and groove. Load a delay plugin, such as Live's Ping Pong Delay, on the hi-hat channel. We'll set dry wet to 60, feedback to 0, then we'll sync it with a division of 2. To filter the rhythmic hat repeats, set the delay filter's center frequency to 1.6 kHz and its bandwidth to 4. turn the delay on and off just so you can hear the effect it's having. Let's now accentuate the other parts with a few strategically placed scrapes. Drag earthly resonance, percussion, 104 rhythmic atrocities onto a new audio track set to -13 dB. This loop is a little too busy and interferes with the rest of the groove when played in its entirety. So chop out the scrape that sits between beats 2 and 3 before deleting the rest of the audio. Let's add a few quirky vocal cuts. Place earthly resonance vocals 124 G low key on a new audio track. Turn the channel down to -10 dB. Then time stretch or warp the loop to fit the track. For an eerie, burial-esque effect, we'll pitch the vocal down to -8 semitones. Now chop out sections and intersperse them throughout the groove, as we're doing here. A good way to generate inspiring new ideas from sample pack sounds is by loading a loop into a sampler and playing in your own riff. We'll drag elevated consciousness, organic, 70 C minor organic organ onto a new MIDI track in Live to automatically load the sound into Live's Simpler. Again, you can use any sampler if you don't use Live. Drag organ riff.mid from tutorial files onto the channel to trigger the sample. By using the track's kick loop to trigger a compressor loaded over this organ channel, we can create intense ducking and inject plenty of pumping rhythm into the melodic part. Insert Live's compressor on the organ loops channel. Then open its sidechain menu and select the kick loop channel in the Audio From menu. To ensure only the bass element of the kick loop triggers the compression over the organ, we'll activate compressor's sidechain EQ section before setting frequency to 80 Hz and Q to 2.6. If we hit this little headphone icon here, we can hear the sidechain signal. Now pull the threshold right down. Triggering extreme gain reduction over the pad when each kick hits. Our crooked groove is coming together nicely, but a lo-fi clap element on beat 2 of every bar would improve the track even more. Drag beat inflections, beat stems, 85 remote perk onto a new audio track, set to -11.5 dB. Then delete the second clap from every bar. Now pitch the clap down to -13 semitones to achieve a dull lo-fi effect. Let's now add one more rickety percussion loop. Drag Futurism, Percussion, 120 Groove Bell onto a new audio track, set to -9 dB. This loop is a little sharp in the context of the mix, so load Live's limiter on the channel and pull ceiling down to -14 dB to flatten the loop's transients. Next, load an instance of EQ8 on the channel and pull down a high shelf cut of -5.5 dB at 5.1 kHz. Dampening the loop's high frequencies and allowing space for the other treble-heavy parts in the mix. Let's now use the kick signal to sidechain compress the loop. Copy and paste the organ's compressor instance to this channel. Before setting its threshold up to -19 dB. Another great way to create your own inspiring elements from sample pack sounds is by pushing pitch shifting and/or time stretching to extremes. Drag Wondrous Curiosities, Texture Loops, D-Ambience Guitar onto a new audio track. Turn the channel down to -32 dB. Then use Live's texture warping algorithm to transpose the sound up to +24 semitones. To add the last sprinkle of texture over the mix, we'll call up a new audio track. Load Live's vinyl plugin. Then turn its crackle volume up to 0.2. This causes the plugin to output makeshift vinyl crackle. Which we slot into the mix with an EQ high cut at 10.4 kHz. And sidechain compression triggered by the kick loop. To finish, let's apply some quick and dirty master bus processing to gently sculpt and gel the mix's tone and dynamics. Load an EQ8 first in the master chain. Then apply a high cut filter at 17.5 kHz, a low cut filter at 33.5 Hz, and a high shelf cut of -4.3 dB at 7.6 kHz. This dulls the mix, removes digital harshness, and gives a lo-fi tone overall. Next, load Glue Compressor's Drum Full Parallel preset after EQ8. Then set Dry Wet to 37% and Makeup to 7 dB. Finally, load D16's Frontier limiter, free in CM plugins, and set a medium release, output volume to -3.5 dB, and threshold to -7.5 dB. So here's our finished 4-bar loop. You can find the Live 9.6 project in the tutorial files folder. So here's our finished 4-bar groove. Once you've scoped out the pack for yourself, make sure you check out Samplephonics' other fantastic sounds at samplephonics.com.